you've got to take your toy and go. All right, let's give this a second. Get the feed out to those who are have their bells so they get the notification, and we will get this show going. We got a couple of you guys on here. Happy Wednesday evening, everybody. Hope you like the 6:30 time. Stop the music. And welcome everyone. Welcome back to another live stream. I'm Paul Meaches Paul, your local realtor and guide to South Florida living. And happy February. Here we're in the middle of it already. So looks like y'all are coming on quick. That's great. All right. Looks like a lot of y'all got the notifications. And let me go to my comments. And it's well, hey Billy. I hope we can close on. Well, I hope so too. Yeah, we're waiting to see what happens with that one. So hopefully that will be closing. I think we're all waiting on that. Let's see. Let me go to the banners here and get this going. So we have that going. All right. So we got a couple things to talk about today. I wanted, as you saw the title, is it a good time to buy? There's a couple of articles. What I'm doing with these weekly live streams is either I have a guest come on, which hopefully next week I'll have a guest, maybe someone from California, realtor come on, and different realtors from around the country. But when I can't get a guest, I have reports of news stories that come out about South Florida real estate and what's happening down here. So we got quite a few different stories to talk about today as we go through. But as always, if you guys want to ask a question, you can leave a comment over on the side, and I will try to answer the best I can. So just feel free to leave a question, and we'll put that question up on the screen and see if we can answer it. And that's so we'll try to get into these stories here in a second. We're just gonna give it a few seconds. I know it takes a while for the feed to reach out and get to people. So and I moved it to 6:30. I thought that was a little better time. I hope I'm not interrupting your dinner time, but I knew the 7 to 8 o'clock seemed a little bit late, and I always used to do it from 6 to 7. So I thought 6:30 was a good time to start right in the middle. So, all right. So is it a good time to buy a home? Well, that all depends. It's a loaded question. But I can tell you that things are moving slower down here in South Florida, at least for me. We're definitely seeing a slowdown in the real estate market. We are seeing obviously tons of condos on the market. There's almost 10 months of inventory for condos that are out there. So condos, there's a plethora of condos available on the market of all size and shapes. Some of them, obviously, from watching my videos, have big assessments. Some of them don't. I just got a contract that I'm getting signed and executed tonight on a condo in a 55 and older community here in West Palm Beach from one of my old clients. And that property has no assessments and no milestone inspections, none of those things. And but it's only a 2-story building, so they don't really fall under those rules. 3 stories or higher. I did close on one just last week on Valentine's Day, which was a 6-story building. Had a small assessment. Assessment was paid. The buyers bought the property. We closed on it. They're happy. I think it was like a $1,300 assessment. But so there are deals out there. There are some properties to be found. There's condos. If you look, if you work with me, we can look and find the condos that might work for you. Obviously, there's a ton of condos out there that we see in the news and from my videos that have huge assessments, $100,000 assessments. And even those can probably be worked out. It just depends on what the seller is willing to take. And sorry if you hear squeaking, my dog is playing for a toy. Stop, go. And so a lot of the condos have what's called a due on sale clause, and it means that the seller has to pay that debt, that fee owed to the condo board. They have to pay it before they can close. So, so let me see. Let me get I see some comments. I'm sorry, I'm just looking over here to the side. So I'm glad I moved to North Florida. No people, but we got snow. Poor dirt farmer. Thanks for the comment. Yeah, you guys did get some snow up there. I know you'd think it's cold by wearing the sweater, but I just cranked the AC down. So it was cold already, and then I put it down a little bit more make it nice and chilly in here. So yeah, you did get some snow in North Florida. It's crazy times. I wish we could get some of that cool weather down here. It was cool yesterday while shooting my video. I have a fun video coming out for you guys this Sunday about Stewart. It's a great little coastal town, voted one of the best coastal towns in the nation. Also voted one of the best places to retire. So those two combined, it's a fantastic city. And I got a video that will be out Sunday at 10 o'clock. So you'll want to see that. Let me see. Okay. Thank you, Dirt Farmer. Appreciate it. Are you losing any sales due to insurance companies not covering 20-year roofs? Yeah, well, it has definitely affected my business by people maybe not reaching out. Like I've had people say, we're just going to hold off right now till they have a little bit more money to look for maybe a newer house that has a newer roof. It's something that when I'm working with my buyers, I'm very careful about that. I tell them, hey, when we look at this house, the house, as good as this house looks, this roof is this old. It's going to be a problem. It's going to come up when you do your inspection. You're going to hope that you can get 5 years out of it. But if you don't, then you spent the money for the inspection. And the seller's not obligated to do anything, right? They can't put a new roof on right there. They could, but the chances are they're not going to put a new roof on. So you would be having to get the roof put on, after you buy the house. But the problem is if you can't get insurance because they won't insure the house because the roof's too old, that's a common problem we're seeing. So, there are some people I've worked some deals where if it's a cash deal, maybe, and I don't know, get the roof put on during the transaction. It gets sticky, but we've seen some situations where they did something like that. For the most part, though, if it's a bad roof and you get that inspection and then you give the wind mitigation and the 4-point inspection and you get that inspection to the insurer and they look at it and say, yeah, no, we can't insure this, then you have nowhere to go if you're financing. The lender's not going to lend if you can't insure the property. So, yeah, it has affected my business. I'm sure it's affected a lot of realtors everywhere with that because it is a problem. But there's hopes that, the insurance, there was a report that Citizens, which is our state insurance pool, was going to get like a 14% raise and everyone was freaking out. They said no, they only allowed a 6.6% raise, which still increased. It's still not good, but they're also cutting some policies price-wise that for places like Miami, Palm Beach County, and Broward County, they are getting some discounts. So there's a little bit of good news, nothing too great. But yeah, good question. It's probably one of the biggest concerns I have as trying to help someone buy a house. And then the whole issue of the roof, and is it an old roof or a new roof? And are you ever going to get an insurance policy on it? So, we'll have to see what happens when they meet up in Tallahassee and see what the politicians do, if they do anything to help that. But thanks for the question. I appreciate it. All right, let me take that off. So, all right, well, let's go to the first report. This is an interesting story, y'all. It's speaking of cost of living and Florida and homes and whatnot. This report that I read came out and said that in the state of Florida right now, there's over 13,000 build to lease, BTL homes, build to lease homes. You can't buy them. They're communities where they're building single family, sort of more like cottages. It's not like it wouldn't be like my house, right? 2-story, but it's a cottage house, but it is 3 bedrooms, maybe a 1-car garage. They have a place in Port St. Lucie. I'm going to try and do a video up there. I asked them if I could go do a video and take a look at it. And these are single family homes that are just for leasing. So not everybody wants to lease an apartment or a condo or even a townhouse. They want the space. So let me share. I'm going to go to my screen. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Where's it at? Present, share screen. And we are going to go to this one right here. And all right. So you guys can see that. So the Florida newspaper, the Business Observer, this report reported Florida ranks number 3 in the nation for build to rent housing market. So it says the housing market, both nationwide and in Florida, has been impacted by high cost and interest rates, which we all know for several years now, has driven up the median age of homeownership and pushing more Floridians into the rental market. With this in mind, builders and investors are continuing to go to a trendy solution, build to rent communities, which are targeted towards investors seeking steady tenants and renters who want a house without the burden of home ownership. These communities are popping up around the country. There are currently 110,727 single-family rentals under construction in 613 communities across the U.S., according to a news report released by Point to Homes, a rental home listing online platform. And as you see here in the guide, you see there's Texas in first place, there's Arizona, and there's Florida right there. Then it goes down North Carolina, Georgia, California, South Carolina, and you see it all the way goes down to the Virginia being the last. Says Texas leads the country with 21,812 houses for rent at various stages of construction, and Arizona and Florida are next with approximately 14,000 homes soon to be available. Once Florida homes are completed, it will consist of an 83% increase in build-to-rent homes. It says it's like Florida, Orlando holds the top spot of build-to-rent units, with approximately 3,000 homes under construction. And then Tampa, Jacksonville. The closest I said I've seen is Port St. Lucie is the closest that we've seen here. So that's an interesting concept that, there's always been rental homes and single-family homes with a lot of the big companies like Invitation and the Blackstone and all that. But now you got these people these companies making communities that are just single-family homes, but they're all rental. So it's interesting. I guess there's a desire for it because they're building them. But it's interesting. I wonder how that's going to affect the sales of properties in general. More people are just saying, well, maybe we'll just rent as opposed to buying a property. So I thought that was a pretty interesting article. What do you guys got any comments on that? Anyone have any questions or thoughts on that? All right, let me stop sharing that. And so that's kind of just what's happening with that here in Florida. I'd never heard of that until just this year. So I'd always helped people. I'm helping someone look for a rental right now. They're looking at renting until they have their house built, but I hadn't heard of a community strictly for renting, newly built cottage homes. So hopefully they'll let me do a video of it, and I'll cover that and show it to y'all so you can see. Maybe that's the option for you. Maybe a lot of people, millennials, aren't looking at buying homes, and they're thinking maybe they'll just rent a house. So we'll see. So let me get out of that and let's go to. So now, speaking of homes in Florida and properties, let me go to our next little story. This one I found pretty interesting as well. And present. I want to share screen here. Where is it at? Here it is. Okay. So this one was pretty interesting, which again may be the reason why so many people are renting. Florida leads in equity-rich homes. In Q4 2024, Florida had a 60.7% equity-rich homes, down from 62 in 2023, with Miami-Dade leading at 64.4. Says the real estate data research firm Adam reported that the 2024's fourth quarter, South Florida had seventh highest percentage, 60.7% of equity-rich mortgaged residential properties across 100 U.S. metro areas with populations of approximately 500,000 people. These homes were worth at least 50% more than the property's outstanding mortgages. And the figure was slightly less in 62% of South Florida homes that were considered equity-rich in 2023's fourth quarter. So, and it says reported that across the U.S., just 47.7% of homes were equity-rich, and also reported that 43.9% of the homes in Jacksonville, 50 homes in Cape Coral, Fort Myers area, and 52% homes in Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton, and then 48% Orlando, Kissimmee, and 49% of Tampa and St. Petersburg. So people have a lot of money in their homes, and people are sitting on many gold mines, but they still don't want to sell. A lot of people don't want to sell their homes. They're just sitting on equity. But I know that a lot of them, if you saw watching one of the live streams I did with Jackie Baker a while back, and they said something like 70% of people don't plan to sell, or 40% don't plan to sell their homes. So a lot of people they're keeping their homes. They're not downsizing. They're not upgrading. They're staying. And if they're not selling, then that means, there's not as many homes for you out there to come down here and buy a property. So then the report we just talked about, you have built to rent properties. giving people an opportunity to move into a house. So it's a weird time in the real estate market right now. It is very, I mean, just used to be people would be like 5-7 years in a house, sell it, go buy something else, but not so much right now. And they have a lot of equity, but I guess the problem is to go buy another house until the prices really come down. It doesn't make sense because they're not going to get the same type of house. Not that they need the same type of house. Maybe they need a smaller house, but the interest rates and all that. So unless they have enough equity, they can just pay cash, which last year, I think the number was 26% of homes sold were cash, which is the highest ever percentage. So that was, there were a lot of people who did do that. Yeah, so that's interesting that it shows that here in Florida that they have that. So, but then the next story that ties into that is, let me get out of this, was also showing that ninety percent of the market saw Q4 gains. So homes prices finished 2020 strong. Our data shows, but in the last 5 years alone, median home prices have jumped 50%. It says property owners are getting richer as home prices prove resilient against lower home sales. Nearly 90% of metro areas registered home price increases in the final quarter of 2024, according to the latest housing data from the National Association of Realtors. 14% of the 226 metro NRAs tracked posted double-digit price gains, up from 7% in the third quarter. So record high home prices and the accompanying housing wealth gains are definitely good news for property owners. However, renters who are looking to transition into home ownership face significant hurdles. So again, it seems to be the same old story, unfortunately, for those who have the house, but those who have never bought a house, who may want to buy a house, there are still some challenges. But as you'll see as we go along in this live stream, it's not all bad news. There is some good news for you. I almost hit leave the studio. I would have left the show, y'all. They hit the stop screen. So yeah, so hopefully we'll see some good news. But any questions? Anybody have any comments about that? What do you think about the people that are not selling their properties? Does it make sense, or they're holding on to it? What do you guys think about that? Just curious what your thoughts are on that. I know that I have made phone calls to sellers, and some of them have said, no, I'm going to, especially in the 55 and older, they've literally said, I'm staying here until I die. Like, they have no intention of selling that house. There's no reason for them to want to sell it. And even though it's a big house with 3 bedrooms and maybe they don't need all that space, there's just no desire to downsize into a condo. So because they bought at such a good time that they're just going to stay in that property. So, I guess until their maker calls them, they're going to stay in that property. So I think the guy said they'll have to carry me out. That's actually what he said to me. I thought it was pretty funny. So, all right. Well, as I said, there is a little bit of good news. So let's go over here. By the way, guys, you ask some questions. It makes this work a whole lot better for me when I'm by myself. It's easier to engage with you and answer questions if you got questions. So if you got something, leave a comment. I appreciate it. It helps continue the flow of the live stream. But I will continue. So we'll go up here and let me find the next article. So some good news, which is, here we go, share. And so buyers gain leverage as market slows. So the market has slowed down a little bit. It's been slowing down, and listings nationwide are selling for under asking price, and most are lingering on the market. Florida home buyers are seeing the biggest discounts. So guys, call me. Let's go shopping here in Florida. I can tell you, on my buyers, we've not gone in at full asking price. We've come in under and got offers accepted. I can tell you that I've been on the other end where I was representing the seller, and this offer was made and they wanted a bit of a discount, and the seller's property was sitting for a while and they gave a bit of a discount to get the property sold. So this article is saying that today's average home listing is selling under its asking price and taking a longer time to sell, which I've told you. I think we're at 5 8.5 months now of inventory. So in 57 days on the market, average, something like that, here in Palm Beach County. According to the new report from the real estate brokerage Redfin, while that's not ideal for sellers, it's good news for home buyers who have been grappling with high housing costs and a shortage of inventory. Now, I still think there's a little bit of somewhat of a shortage of inventory for good homes, but not on condos. There's a ton of condos. Redfin data as of January shows that the nationwide buyers may have more room for negotiating than they have in several years. So the typical U.S. home is selling for 1.8% less than its asking price, the biggest discount in nearly 2 years. And the typical home that sells is taking 56 days to go under contract, the longest span in nearly 5 years. More than half, 56% of listings are sitting on the market for at least 60 days without going under contract, roughly the same share during this time of year in 2023 and 2024. That's down from the prior month when 61% of listings were on the market for 60 days, the highest share in 5 years. So, and again, I guess between the last month and this month, people are coming out of Christmas and the holidays and all that. So it's always a slow time. But so maybe it's picking up a little. Today's housing market is slow, mostly because it's so expensive to buy a home. Hello. And the average 30-year mortgage rate was 6.96 in January. And that's down from the 2-decade high of 7.62 hit in 2023, but remains well above the 3% to 5% rates that were common before and during the pandemic. The median U.S. home sale price is up 4% year over year. Together, high prices and rates have pushed typical home buyers' monthly payments near record highs. And political and economic uncertainty is another reason that some would-be buyers are pumping the brakes. That someone just said that to me today. My broker actually said that. And the upside of the slow market is buyers have an opportunity to negotiate on the price and terms for certain homes. Redfin agents in some parts of the country report that it feels like a buyer's market, with sellers of homes that have been sitting on the market for a week open to lowering prices. Other Redfin agents note that while the pool of unsold inventory is growing and many homes are selling for under asking price, that doesn't necessarily mean buyers have a big pool of desirable homes to choose from. Kind of what I just said. See, guys, I deliver the truth. More listings are hitting the market, but they're not always the type of homes buyers want and need. And Redfin Premier Agent in San Diego listings linger on the market tend to be unpopular neighborhoods or require renovation. Relatively affordable, move-in ready homes close to highly rated schools are selling quickly and often with multiple offers. So there you go. That is, and let me stop. So I've said those same things many times. Buyers now are extremely picky. They want it ready. They don't want to do anything to the property. They want to move in. Those properties are still going to be a little tough to get because everybody wants that. Everybody wants the turn the key, walk in, and drop your luggage and move in ready house. The ones that require a little sweat equity, the ones where you're going to have to get your friends over and have a pizza party and paint the house and remove the wallpaper, not selling so much. So, but those are the good buys. Those are the ones, if you can find them and negotiate a good deal right now, get it while you can before the market goes crazy, is find those homes that need the minor touches. Like, you don't want to buy, a money pit, but find the house that just needs a little bit of work, especially if it's your first house. And, if it's got the basics covered that you need, the number of rooms and bathrooms and the equipment works and stuff, but maybe it's an old toilet, but it works. Toilets are relatively cheap. You can fix that later on. You can change that. Paint is something you could do, or you can find a handyman when you get a little extra money. There's things you can do to find, but those are the homes that you really should be looking at, where you can offer, an under ask price and negotiate some credits on it and get a deal and get that house. And the money that you save, maybe you save on your closing cost, you use that money to go and, hire a contractor or do some work yourself, whatever, if you're handy like that. So the pretty house that's all sparkling and they've done everything to it, you're going to be fighting everyone for that house, even in today's market. Even if it is maybe selling a little under asking, it's still going to get more bids on it than the other house. So, so there is a little hope. I've seen this happening with my buyers. I've seen it happen with other agents. And so I do think, that they hit the nail right on the head. Everything that they said about the properties and about the homes that are on the market. Again, the houses that are super nice, some people are just keeping them because they love their house and they have no reason to sell it. And that's that percentage of people that bought and, with a 3% interest rate, and they've got a ton of equity on their house. So, come on. Someone ask a question. We had 4 good questions, and then it just went cold. So you guys can, you don't have to. I won't put your name on screen if you don't want to. Just ask the question, and I'll try to answer it. Oh, all right. All right. So so that's some of the main stories that I had. I've got let's see. I've got something new on my channel I wanted to show you guys. Let me show you this. I did this today. This is kind of cool. So if you guys are watching the videos, which I found out that 69% of you watch my YouTube videos on your TV, which is pretty cool. That's interesting to know. Hey, Effie, how you doing, neighbor? Thank you. So here, we'll put you up. So there. I said I wouldn't put you up there, but you didn't ask a question. You just said hi. So hola. Hello back to you. Thanks. You're always there supporting me. I appreciate it. So let me show you what I just added to the channel. 1 second. I'm going to again present, share, and let me go to this and share. Okay. So hey, you know that guy. Look at that. Look at that. So here's my channel banner. Enjoy Paradise videos. So what did I add different to it? That right there. I used to have click to subscribe, but you can't click to subscribe on a TV. I mean, you can if you go and mess with your remote. I've done it. You have to go look for the channel and do that. But now I have a QR code, which you can just scan the QR code. Which good about this is I'm going to change the scan this. It's going to say free guides. If you guys are looking to move to Florida, I have a buyer's guide. It's a printed art document that we put together. It's really nice and talks to you about how we can help you buy a property, what we do as your buyer's agent, all the process of going through and buying a property. It's a really nice brochure. It's colored. So you can request that and we'll send it to you. I have a seller's guide if you're local and you're looking to sell, or even if you're out of state, like the referral that I got from my friend Jackie, and I've got a property up in Stewart, and you want to see the process that we do for selling a property. We can send you that. And then the other one is if you are just curious, I know a lot of you are thinking of moving to Florida and you're curious about getting here at some point, but maybe you're not ready now. If you scan that and basically go out and fill out the form and I'll talk to you, I can set you up on a search of properties based on what you want. So if you're looking for, say you are looking for a condo, but you're like, Paul, we're not sure. We saw your videos. We don't know about the condo market, what's happening. I can set you up on a search in Boynton Beach, downtown, condos, Delray Beach, whatever. And, whatever price range you tell me what your price range is, the number of bedrooms, whether it's dog friendly or pet friendly or not, all those little things, I can set you up in a search and then send you emails to those properties. And you just kind of get an idea of the local market, daily, weekly, however you want it set up. It'll come to you as an email. It's just basically the MLS search, like you've probably done when you've bought a house with your realtor. And you can cancel at any time. If you don't want it, you just say, I don't want this anymore. But it's a great way for you to kind of get an idea of what's going on here. Because some of you said, Paul, we're thinking of moving there in 2-3 years. Some of you said longer when they retire. This is a great way for you to kind of keep an eye on the market. And you may see something and be like, wow, is that too good to be true? And you want to call me and I can set you up on, on a Zoom call or something, or a FaceTime where I can go there and look at the property. Or if you come in town, we can go look at a property. So anyway, so I did that. I like having that on the there, so it makes it easier for people, and we can get you set up. So that's kind of new. So if you see that, scan it, and if you want to go get on my list, and plus I can put you on my monthly newsletter. I send out a newsletter once a month, talking about things that are happening here in South Florida and some fun stuff that I'm doing down here. So all right. So appreciate that. And we can stop sharing that and go back to this. So let's see, what did we want to talk about? I had a couple interesting stories here. Let me see if I can find this one real quick. Let me see where it's at. See if I can get this one. So this one I thought was interesting. This is not real estate related. This is just find something kind of funny. See what you guys think. Share. Okay. So I saw this article today. Is Florida being snubbed? These artists aren't coming to Florida in 2025. So apparently Florida is getting the cold shoulder for a lot of performers. And I mean, here in West Palm, we get a lot of good concerts here at the Coral Sky, and then we got the Hard Rock down in Miami at the Hard Rock Casino. They have a really cool performing there. And then also you have the stadium, the Hard Rock Stadium, where the Dolphins play. They do a lot of performances there. But I just thought it was weird. A lot of these places also, they said they're not coming. I don't know. I don't know if they're snubbing Florida. Maybe that's just a attention grabbing statement. But a lot of Beyonce is not heading to Florida this year. Who else? Billie Eilish, I think, is not coming down. A couple other people, Lana Del Rey, Father John. So I'm not sure who this is. I don't know him. An Irish punk band, the Fontaines. I've heard of them. I think they're skipping Florida. And again, I don't know that they're necessarily skipping Florida. Maybe it's just, they can't go to every state. I mean, there's lots of bands that I wish would come back here. I remember growing up, George Strait, he came here once, and I couldn't go to the concert because my son broke his arm. So I had to sell the tickets. He never came back to South Florida again. That was 1992 or something like that. It was 93. So I don't know if they snubbed Florida. Maybe it's just not on their list of places to come to. Although I don't know why. Florida's. I think we love music as much as anybody. But anyway, I just thought that was. Let me see if there's any comments. No comments about that. I thought it was interesting that Florida was getting snubbed for concerts. So maybe it was a slow day at the news desk. Maybe they just had to find something to talk about. So kind of like me in this video, bringing you guys some stories. So let's see. So, and then this one is real estate related. This one was pretty interesting. We'll stop on this. And so let me go here. Yeah, where is it at? This one was very interesting. How do I get out of this? Hold on a second. So ads, and more ads. Okay. So what bubble, outrageous 100 million plus homes are the new normal in South Florida, experts say. Now, guys, these are the super duper Palm Beach Island, Coconut Grove, Miami, mega mansions that are being sold. But I thought this was crazy. It's they talk about that, the Uber homes that aren't even figured into numbers when they talk about regular real estate. But some of these homes that are selling, there's one in Manalapan, which is just south of Palm Beach. It's a very exclusive, high net worth area right along the water, just like billionaires, literally. And this property there they're asking $285 million for that property. So, and then it's a bunch of it. It goes on to talk about other $100 million. You've got Frederick Eklund, who was on $1 Million Listings. He's got one down there in Miami, 150 million. And I mean, you look at the pictures; they're pretty impressive. But it's just crazy that these people are coming down here. You've got Ken Griffin. He set a record when he bought $104 million property and $106 million property. So lots of money there. Boy, I just need to sell one of those homes, and I'm going to have a whole new YouTube channel. It's going to be me in a van and my wife cruising around the world with the dogs. So here's this one for 150 million. Another, so pretty crazy. So there's always something interesting going on the super wealthy set, and especially down here in South Florida with a lot of these homes. So. I thought that was very, very interesting. So, what do you say? Would you, if you could buy a house for 150 million? That's a good question. Who would buy a house if you could afford a $150 million house? Would you buy it, or would you not spend that much money? Again, you have to think about the amount of money that person has. That's a billionaire, right? Someone that can afford 150 million. That's nothing to them. That's like us going and buying a $50,000 condo. So, but I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do with that much space. I'd never need a house like that. I'd be happy with a nice beach house down in the Florida Keys with a boat dock and a very nice boat. maybe a helicopter. That'd be nice to have. So then I could just take the helicopter over to the Bahamas and have a beer and do some fishing over there. So, and that is the stories for the week, guys. That's pretty much it. So as I said, for buyers, there's a little bit of hope out there if you're looking. I think you reach out to me. You guys have all my contact information. You know how to get a hold of me. Scan the QR code, and I've seen a lot of properties out there where they're sitting, and I think if you made a fair offer, but not insulting offer, you could probably get the property. I don't know. You could try and go in super low ball, but I think a lot of times that just backfires, and then it's hard to get them to even agree with anything. Because it doesn't seem to be at that kind of market yet where it's that desperate for sellers to sell. So, and as I said, and you saw the article, a lot of them have a ton of equity in their homes anyway, so they're not losing. That's not, these reports that they're going to have a market crash. I remember seeing all the YouTube talk about, even I fell into that trap. Hey, there's going to be foreclosures and stuff. But the thing is, people have so much equity in their properties, they're not going to when a crash in the market happens sometimes this year. Yeah, but Mark, I don't know that there's going to be a crash like everyone thinks. I mean, we've been hearing and talking about it. Even I'm guilty. I did a video about it. I admit I talked about it. But it's slow. But I mean, there's people that have so much equity in their house, they're not going to lose anything. Their house is worth. I mean, you saw what it said. There's a ton of people sitting with a ton of money on their property, so they'll just pay their house off and just sit on it and be like, okay, I'll just stay in my property. I don't think it's going to be people dumping homes. Condos, that's something to watch. The condos, this is going to be a year to watch the condos and see what happens with condos. Yeah, and that's going to be just interesting to see what happens with it. So I'm supposed to chat. Yes, dinner time. Yeah, it appears that sellers are dropping their price significantly. Hold on, let me. So, it just appears that sellers are dropping their pricing. I've been watching a home that dropped 2 of the year. Thoughts? Wow, that's a big drop. I mean, again, then how much was the house listed at though? If it dropped 200,000, was it listed at $1 million? Because I've seen some properties, do some drops too. But I don't know. I mean, we're seeing some price drops, but I don't see the desperate sellers yet. I haven't seen it. I don't have that feeling that like sellers are desperate yet. I've spoken to many of them. Just a lot of them don't even want to sell right now. They're not interested in selling. And there's still some, we tried to put an offer on one property with my buyer. It was a condo, and the guy was like, he wouldn't take, and it's been on the market 200 something days, and he would not come off his price. And, we came in at one offer, and then we said, okay, we came up, we'll try to meet him halfway in the middle. He's like, nope, I have no desire to lower my price. So he's okay. And thing is, he's paying a $600 something a month mortgage, or I'm sorry, HOA fee, and he's paying property taxes on that. Not to mention if he has, insurance on the property. So he has to pay all that, but he's okay. I guess he's got the time and the money to sit on and not worry about it. So I don't know, but I don't know that we'll see a crash like everyone says. I do see it getting normalized. Like I said, we're at 5 something. Yeah, 1.3 to 1.1. Yeah, I mean that makes sense, and that's a lot of money, right? I mean, that's a lot of money to take that kind of drop. But I've seen people do that even 2 years ago, even a year ago. I saw people that had prices, and they did some price drop. Not a 200,000 right off the bat. They kind of eventually got to 200,000. They dropped a little bit more and stuff. So, but just keep watching, man. That's what I do. I just keep trying to see what's happening. I try to keep trying to read the market, see where things are going with it. Again, it's all a guessing game. None of us have a guaranteed, answer to what's happening in the real estate market. We just keep watching it, and I just sort of watch the trends and see what happens in my industry, and then I try to share that with you guys. So I always try to bring as much positive advice to y'all as I can. Even the news that's somewhat negative, I'm trying to share that with y'all so you can know what's happening here with the real estate market. That's my goal with this channel. That's my goal with these live streams, to kind of interact with y'all and kind of let you know what's going on and see what happens with the real estate market. Here, I'll put this up so people see. So yeah, so he said the price went from 1.3 to 1.1. So yeah, I mean, you know, if it's not moving, people aren't buying it, then, you know, you try to move the needle a little and see if that gets some different buyers. Maybe there's buyers out there that are approved, you know, on that house. Maybe their cap is 1 and they're just waiting to see if that property drops to 1, right? Like, or 999. And then maybe they start getting a flood of offers because people were at that point, they're okay, but going over $1 million was just their threshold. So we've kind of seen that happen in real estate sometimes. So, but you never know with it. But all right, guys. Well, hey, listen, we went 40 minutes on my own, and if I have a guest, it always makes it easier, and we can go a full hour and talk and answer questions and whatnot. But at this point, I've pretty much gone through all my little notes that I want to talk to you guys about. And I hope you guys watch Sunday at 10 o'clock. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider it. I appreciate your support. Like the video, the analytics, it helps YouTube say, hey, Paul, you have a good video and we want to share it with more people. I'm trying to work at getting the video to the point and giving you guys the best information right up. I don't do big intros anymore. I don't do any fancy intros. I just jump right into the video for you. That's what you said you wanted. So, and trying to share as much as I can about South Florida so you guys have a good idea of what it's like. If you haven't moved here before and you're thinking about it, then that's what this channel is about. It shows you if you were to live here, what you could do, what beaches, what parks, what events go on, all sorts of fun stuff. And I'm presently trying to work with some other things to show you, again, not just real estate, but places to maybe stay. I'm trying to see if I can reach out to a couple different resorts and talk to them about doing a partnership where I maybe stay there and do a video about their place, so that if you guys are coming down here and you visit, then you sort of, which a lot of you do, sort of gives you an idea of, hey, we stayed in this place, Paul, we want to go look at some real estate. So, but those are all things I'm just continually trying to work on this channel to grow it. And I appreciate all the support all of y'all have given me over the years. So with that, hey guys, have a good evening. Go enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing your time with me this evening. I hope the 6:30 time frame works. I'll probably put a poll up on the YouTube channel asking what time works the best. See if we get a overall consistency of that. And but I think 6:30, 7:30 is like fairly good time. It's hard because we have people from all over. Most of you are on the East Coast, and but we'll see. If I have to change it, I will. And with that, I'll see you guys Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Get out and enjoy paradise.